For questions 2010, question 38, there are two objects that start the motions in the same position and with a initial speed that is not equal to 0, and it's accelerate at different accelerations, and after a period of time it reached the same velocity. And the question is asking us to find the ratios between the distance traveled by object 2 over the distance traveled by object 1 within this period. Now let's draw a velocity time diagram to illustrate this. For object 1, it start off with an initial velocity and accelerate during this time period. And for object 2, it has half of the initial speed as object 1 and accelerate twice as fast as object 1. So it would look something like this. Now, after a period of time, they reach the same velocity. And let's get this as A. And since object 1 has twice the initial speed as object 2, here would be twice the distance as here. So, which means that the distance here is equal to the distance here. And now let's erase this and use B to represent this. So if here is B, this distance here is also going to be B. And now let's draw a horizontal line here. And since the acceleration is just equal to the tangent value of that angle, and tangent value is going to be opposite over adjacent. And since both this angle have the same base, which is A, it's going to be equal to opposite over A. And since the acceleration of object 1 is half as that of object 2, this will be twice the distance as the distance in here. So if the distance here is 2, here will be 1, which means that this part will be 1. And let's erase this. So the distance here is going to be B, and here is also going to be B, and this part is B. And let's calculate the areas under these two lines, which also represent the distance traveled within this time period A, since velocity times time is just going to equal to distance. For object 1, the areas is going to be equal to this triangle plus the areas of this rectangle. 1/2 multiplied by A multiplied B plus 2B multiply A. This equal to 1/2 AB plus 2AB, which equal to 5/2 plus multiply AB. And for object 2, it's also a area of triangle plus areas of rectangle. It's going to be 1/2 plus A plus multiply A multiply 2B plus A multiply B. This is going to equal to AB plus AB, which is 2AB. And the ratios between distance traveled by object 2 over object 1 is just going to equal the areas under the corresponding line, which is 2AB over 5 over 2AB. And the AB will cancel. So that's equal to 2 multiply 2 over 5, which is 4 over 5. And the answer is B. Alternatively, since we find out that all the variable we have set are cancelled out at last when we calculate the ratio, we can just forget about A and B and just use 1 as a to calculate this. So let's set the velocity first. If v velocity of object 2 is 1 meter per second, it means that object 1 has initial velocity of 2 meter per second. And now let's do the same for acceleration. If object 1 accelerate as 1 meter per second square, then object 2 accelerate as 2 meter per second square. And if we observe it, we notice that at time equal 1, object 1 would be at time equal 1 second, object 1 would travel at final velocity of 3 meter per second, and object 2 would also travel at final velocity of 3 meter per second. So this satisfied the requirement of questions. So let's calculate the distance they travel during the period of 1 second. For object 1, it's going to be initial velocity multiplied time plus 1 over 2 multiply acceleration multiply time square. This is going to be 2 multiply 1 plus 1 over 2 multiply 1 multiply 1 square. And this is going to be 2 plus 1 over 2, which is 5 over 2. And you can already find out that the value here is actually 2 equal to the value here, since we just replace A and B with 1, so the value at the end would be the same. And for object 2, it's the same. Initial velocity multiplied time plus 1 over 2 acceleration multiplied time square. And this is equal to 1 multiply 1 plus 1 over 2 multiply 2 multiply 1 square. This is equal to 1 plus 1 equal to 2. And find the ratio. 2 over 1 would equal to 2 over 5 over 2, which is 4 over 5. And magically, they are the same. So to sum up, the method 2 is a much simpler way of thought if you can think of this method. And the